Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. Now, African teams have not had the best of times out at the FIFA Club World Cup in terms of results, but they have shown plenty of promise. There's still hope for progression for some, though. And to take a look at this, we've roped in former Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder Sibusiso Vilakazi to give us some insight. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
A very good morning, Vise. How are you?
Thank you. Let's perhaps start by overall, from your point of view, the African teams that are out at the Club World Cup. What do you make of what they've been able to do, and who's impressed you the most?
I think I'll start to point out how they started, which I think how they started, they gave us a sign of, okay, we are in the tournament, we want to do good. The first games, the match day ones, which went really good. They went good results, but they were steady results with most of the teams. Ali will get a draw. Sundowns got a victory. Of course, Wydad got a loss, and then Esperance also got a loss. But then match day number 2, things started to improve a bit, and it's with some of the teams, wheels are starting to come off a bit, particularly with Wydad, of course, having to be in a group of that.
Very tough group that the Wydadians are in.
It's very tough, and for me, when they started, I had to point it out and say, look, I don't think they're gonna come out, but with certain of our players that play there, I just saw that this is a big opportunity, it's a big stage for them, and I'm not quite surprised with Lodge, having to stand out a bit and finding form and finding a few goals. So, but at this time, I think he can get better with the stage. But then, of course, we still have Mamelodi Sundowns that they have so much to play for. They're still in it for many of things, for many reasons. But also in that Group F, it's going to be very difficult when they face Fluminense, which I think also they've done very well, coming from Brazil, which I think starting the tournament, the European teams were sort of the favorites. But then now, I think Brazilians or South Americans have started also to step it up a bit.
Let's talk about Jose Ribeiro's Al Ahly, because at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning they play in their next game taking on FC Porto, where they would need to beat them by a very nice margin to stand any chance of progressing. What do you make of that FC Porto clash that they're coming into tomorrow?
Yeah, well, Porto used to have that fear factor. They used to be that team that would hold some presence, but maybe they might win the game, but I'm not too sure with the margins of goals. It's so tight. But I think where they lost it is when they played Inter Miami, where I think that could have been the game that they should have won and made things easier for themselves. But now they find themselves in a very difficult situation, difficult position. I think looking at the stats and looking at how they've progressed so far, I don't think they are within a chance, which I think they were the most highly favored African team to come out of that group.
And we have to touch on Esperance, another African team.
Yeah.
We saw them also having a victory. But they take on Chelsea in the final group game. What are your expectations on that one? Do you think that they have the ability to possibly knock out Chelsea if that result is solid enough?
Honestly speaking, I'd written them off when we started the tournament. I'd written them off. But then, of course, it shows how football works. One match day, which is match day number 1, it wasn't convincing. But then, of course, match day number 2, they were able to get a victory. So they're now in a good position also to put themselves in. It's a must-win. So now it's match day number 3. It's all in for most of the teams, particularly, I would say, Chelsea and Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, for those two teams, in reality, they can still make it. But then, of course, it's a matter of now which the goal difference is going to be affected in terms of them finding the goals that will be able to help them. And the goal difference, it's a bit tricky.
Indeed. You touched already on Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, their final group game against the team that sits at the top of their group, Fluminense. What are your expectations there? Because we've seen this Fluminense team start off with a draw against Dortmund, going on to a solid victory 4-2 against Ulsan, against Mamelodi Sundowns, who actually fought hard against a Dortmund side.
Yeah, I think from that game, there's certain things that you like to reflect on, which Mamelodi Sundowns, when they played Dortmund, where they had a good start. And most of us just lost our minds when they had that first goal, which was a beautiful goal. I think that goal for me stands out to be one of the best goals in the tournament this far. So, I mean, having to have that, and then, of course, how they conceded, I mean, a lack of concentration. But overall, it could have turned out sour. It could have went, the score could have went up a bit, but they were able to control it. Try again, rearrange themselves second half, which they're able to come back and able to find 2 goals. And I was happy also with the introduction of certain players, because also they were raising their hands. So now you have a pool of players ready to give you something with the last game. So they're still within a chance. There's so much to play for. It's the last one for them. I think they can put everything that they have.
And finally, just overall in terms of what you've witnessed in this FIFA Club World Cup, I think some surprises. Many were surprised to see a PSG team losing because everyone was thinking this is the team to beat. Overall, when you look at all the other nations, which team, rather, club has impressed you?
So far so good. I mean, so far so good. Particularly, I look at Bayern Munich. I look at Man City finding form now. Real Madrid also finding form, and these teams are just thumping this Flamengo. Botafogo, which were the surprising package when they play PSG. Everybody had said, no, PSG is going to win it. But with football, what happens? Botafogo has been doing really, really good in Brazil. So they're at their peak. So their season has already started. So I'm not surprised when they made that upset with PSG. But Bayern Munich, and also, I look at the top goal scorers list. It's impressive. I mean, I see young players like Musiala, Olise, Reynas also. Ike Reynas was able to go on the score sheet back-to-back, so I'm happy for him also. And Ribeiro also one assist. So guys are also starting to step up. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see even other guys like a Kane starting to put more goals. I mean, Haaland also finding the score sheet with Man City. So it's getting better. It's starting to unpack even better.
It is getting better, starting to unpack very nicely this FIFA Club World Cup. We're going into the third round of action in terms of the group stages, and then it's down to the knockouts. We're all waited with bated breath to see which teams will progress. That's where we'll leave it for now in terms of your sport news right here on Morning Live. Let's take you through to an ad break, and then we come back to keep you up to date with all the latest in your news and current affairs.